Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to Virtual Racing Network. Going live a little bit early, but that is for a good cause. We have a lot of stuff to go over here tonight, a lot of drivers here tonight, as we are counting 33 drivers that have made it here to Texas Motor Speedway. It is an outstanding field here tonight. So we're going to go over some of these times here for practice. But before we do that, we are going to hop down and get to the sponsors. Of course, the sponsors for tonight's race do include the newest one coming on board. That, of course, is Gold Cube. A huge shout out to Gold Cube for coming on board here just recently within the last week or so. So make sure you check them out. As well as one of the presenting sponsors of another series, but not tonight. That is Global Building Contractors, Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills, Dan Butler Designs, and of course the presenting sponsor here for tonight's race. That is the Iracing Drivers World. Make sure you check them out on Facebook for lots of great stuff. You can post comments, concerns, questions, anything related to iRacing, you can post over there. So make sure you check them out, iRacing Drivers World. And of course, on the broadcast side of things, we would not be here for the 2018 year if it wasn't for the following partners that have come on board to help us out. Those do include here your one-to-go sponsor for tonight's race. That is Northwest Racing Series. Make sure you check them out here on Monday and Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. Walls Beard Co., your official grid sponsor for tonight's race. If you have a beard, it's not No Shave November anymore, but hopefully you haven't quite shaved that beard off yet. Keep it. Take care of it. Head on over to wallsbeardco.com to get you some of that beard balm today. All natural and organic products. Some great stuff. Definitely check them out. And, of course, Ohio IndyCar League. If you're looking to get into some IndyCar racing, there's no better league to do so than Ohio IndyCar League. Make sure you check them out. Again, that is Ohio IndyCar League. You can get all the latest information at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. Check them out today. SimSpeedShop.com, your one-stop shop for custom-made button boxes, and now e-brakes for those rallycross racers. And of course, with an ever-expanding list of tracks for the rallycross drivers, you're going to definitely want to get one of these e-brakes. And everybody needs a custom button box here on iRacing. And just FYI, they make very good Christmas gifts. So head on over there and check them out at SimSpeedShop.com. And last but not least, that is iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. We personally use them here at at Virtual Racing Network, and we think you should too. They are your sim race broadcast graphics source. Head on over to ibog.co to get a hold of Jason Allison today. If you are looking to get into broadcasting or just need some overlays for streaming races here on iRacing, you can definitely check them out. They range anywhere from $25 upwards to $300-$400, just depending on what you need, and they could go up even higher. Again, the price isn't the part you want to pay attention to. It's how good the quality work is. You'll see here tonight in our overlays. That will do it, though, for the sponsors. We have 7.5 minutes left on the clock. We got some really fast drivers in here right now. Just so everyone knows, we're going to go ahead and bring the running order up here. Even though this is not, this is just based off practice times. Nobody has actually been out on the track putting down laps as far as racing goes. But right now, Jamir Muhammad, somebody who we know is a very fast driver, currently the fastest here, as they're in a driver's meeting at the moment by .009 over Mikey Neal. And once again, we've heard from Mikey Neal that he does not like this car at this track. However, when that happens, he seems to put in a really good run usually. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. and see how it plays out here for him. Again, these times we're seeing 30.5s. 30.6s. We'll see how long those times do stay here, as we have heard while they are some fast times, after about 10 laps or so, we may see those laps start to dwindle down to 31s and 32s. We are expecting 30 to 32 laps of fuel. However, they could possibly try to stretch it to 33 or 34 once those tires wear down and they start running slower lap times and conserving a little bit as well. So a lot of stuff could factor into that. So a conservative fuel window, 33 to 34 laps. Non-conservative, 30 to 32 laps. We'll see. We have 100 laps here, so do the math there. If you divide that by 30, that would, of course, be 30, 60, 90, and you would be very close on the end there. So if you push it to 32, you can obviously go 32, 64, 96, and you should be good. So it looks like it's going to be a 3-stop race here tonight. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. That obviously doesn't factor in any cautions we're going to have tonight. So if you get a caution around lap 20 or so, that's really going to shake things up. So a lot of stuff could possibly happen in here to shake things up a little bit. We got about 5 minutes left on the clock here. Obviously, for anyone that's never been to Texas Motor Speedway, we have 4 turns here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, of course. Nothing real special about this track. Everything is bigger in Texas. However, not the track. It's just a typical 1.5-mile track, 1.46 miles technically. Of course, again, 100 laps that we're going to be racing. What's not typical is most of the leagues here run just the stock setting. Not so much here. We have a wind speed that just went from 6 to 7 miles per hour. As right now, well, there it is, 9 mile per hour. Out of the north, it just keeps going up. A air temp of 77 degrees and a track temp that is a blistering 104 degrees here tonight. It is a very hot track surface. So definitely going to be a factor in tonight's race. We got 4 minutes. We're going to step away. We'll be back in 1 minute as we'll go over some last minute information. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, 3 minutes left on the clock. We got about a minute and a half before we head on over to the national anthem, and then we'll move into qualifying. James Zarello sitting third fastest, Alex Huffman fourth, and of course you have Brian Jones sitting in the 45 right now in fifth position. So again, we have just a ton of cars here. 33 drivers here for tonight's race. It is a huge car count. You can expect to see some great racing, and we will probably see a big wreck here tonight as well with this many cars. And they will get a little loose after about 5 to 10 laps. These tires will start to fall off. You very well could see a pretty good sized wreck, and trust me, if you see a wreck, they will go for a spin and a flip. These cars do not stay to the ground very well, so we'll be looking for that. We'll see if they can stay planted on the ground. We have a minute 50 to go. We're going to step away, and we'll be right back with qualifying after your national anthem.
we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as qualifying is underway. So we're going to jump down to Mikey and Neil, who is out on the track right now. And we're going to get down there to him, and we're going to go ahead and pull up your driver bar as well as qualifying here for tonight, as we have your top 20 on the board. Of course, we will obviously see more than that. So here tonight, there are 33 drivers, so we have plenty of drivers that we will not necessarily have up on here. We'll try to cover some of those as well. But again, with that many drivers, that'll leave you somebody for guessing. Here's Mikey Neal's going to lock it up before he gets to the line. We'll switch over to Justin Starr in number 99 machine. Again, nobody has officially put in a time just yet. So we will be waiting to see how this one plays out, as it is Justin Starr you're watching at the moment, who will be your pole sitter here for the race. It's going to be a interesting race, to say the least, especially with the amount of drivers that we have here tonight. Just an absolute awesome race here. So we'll see here as times have started to come in. James Zarello at the top of the charts with a 30.579. Jim Locking behind him with a 30.885. As we'll see, Mike Rigney going to take now fourth place, as Alex Huffman's going to go to the top of the charts in that 83 machine with a 30.546. We'll see Mikey Neal still out on the track. Jason Covington the fourth with a 30.726. He will put in a blistering fast time, as well as Brian Bizzle the third with a 30.714. So times are starting to look in here. Sterling Smith puts a fifth place time with a 30.812. Now to sixth as Mikey Neal takes it to third place with a 30.583.037 behind your leader right now. So a very fast time for him. No surprise there. We expect to see good times from him. Justin Starr, who we checked in with a little second ago, currently 11th in that 99 machine with a 30.953. And we'll see Brian Bizzle going to take it to fourth with a 30.714. And there's Mikey Neal taking it to the top of the charts with a blistering fast time of 30.530. He said he didn't like this car at all, but here he is at the top of the charts once again. Jameer Mohammed now to fourth with a 30.613. Those two, I have a feeling, are going to put on a battle for you here in tonight's race, so we'll have to watch and check both of them out. Sam Crow to seventh right now with a 30.778 as he just put in that time. We'll take another look down here. Dan Butler currently in 10th with a 30.821 as Bruce Clay takes 12th place in the number 80 with a 897. And you go back a little ways and you have Mike Ridney, John Van Rellis, Richard Reagan Jr., Justin Starr. These guys taking to the rest of the field in your top 20, while you have Brian Jones that just put in a 7th place time of a 30.737. So and yet another very fast time here for Brian Jones. And we have about a minute left, and it looks like just about everybody that is going to qualify is. Brandon Young has the time in, 30.849. Brian Jones coming down. Damian Leininger, who has been absent for a while, he is back in the number 3 Budweiser machine as he is going to put in a time here to the line. What will it be? 30.559, as that will put him currently to 3rd, as it's going to actually be a 30.558. The 3rd place for the number 3 of Damian Leininger. Again, so far, Rick Mitchell Jr., Josh Coley, Rick Mitchell, Dustin Covington, Trevor Graffam, and Tony Rice have not put in times, and it doesn't look like they are going to. 28 seconds left to go. We're going to get rid of qualifying, and we will be right back here in about 20 seconds with your Walls Beard Co. starting grid. All right, checkered flag has waved. Before we get down to the grid real fast, we do want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. And as always, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button and little bell to be notified of all upcoming events. And, of course, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to be a little bit more part of the channel and help us do what we do here, you will see a donation link pop up periodically throughout the chat that you can use to, again, just help us out any way you can. It's completely optional, but it will be there. This is the only time we'll announce it here at the start of the race. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get to this grid. It is a huge one here for tonight's race. And it looks like row 1 is going to be the 8 of Mikey Neal and his teammate, the 83 of Alex Huffman, on row 1 here for the Walls Beard Co. starting grid. Row 2 is going to be the 3 of Damian Leininger and the 13 of James Zarello. Row 3 is going to be the 2 of Jameer Muhammad and the 24 of Brian Bizzle. Row 4 is going to be the 10 of Jason Covington and the 45 of Brian Jones. Row 5 is going to be the 70 of Sam Crow and the 6 of Matthew Ellis. Row 6 is going to be the 50 of Sterling Smith and the 63 of Charles Hoffman. Row 7 is going to be the 21 of Dan Butler and the 51 of Brandon Young. Row 8 is going to be the 91 of Jim Locking and the 80 of Bruce Clay. Row 9 is going to be the 30 of Mike Rigney and the 78 of John Van Verellis. Row 10 is going to be the 46 of Richard Reagan Jr. and the 99 of Justin Starr. Row 11 is going to be the 9 of Brian Dorsey and the 101 of David Gainforth. Row 12 is going to be the 96 of Craig Covington, and the 31 of Scotty Zerk. Row 13 is going to be the 555 of Butch Frazier and the 00 of Scott Masick. Row 14 is going to be the 77 of Justin Spear and the 48 of Dustin Covington. Row 15 is going to be the 33 of Josh Coley and the 47 of Trevor Graffam. There we go. Row 16 is going to be the 61 of Rick Mitchell and the 64 of Tony Rice. And rounding out your field here tonight in row 17 for the Walls Beard Co. starting grid is going to be the 88 of Rick Mitchell Jr. And that will do it here for the Walls Beard Co. starting grid. Green flag is out. We are racing here at Texas Motor Speedway for the first time here tonight. And they got really spread out, as we'll put your top 3 on the top of the ticker here so you can see where everybody is, as Mikey Neal gets a nice sizable lead over his teammate. Let's go back and look at these guys and see just what is going on back here at the, well, I wouldn't say the back, but behind the leader anyway, as we're going to go back here to Brian Jones. These guys still side by side, almost 3 wide at one point. They kind of get it sorted out here. What a race so far. Again, we are 1 lap into this race. They make it 2 now as they come to the line. And you can see just how far these guys are spread out here. So let's go up to the 3 of Damian Leiniger. He's got his hands full right now with the, not sure, that is, yeah, indeed, it is the 13 of James Zarello. And here comes Jameer Muhammad in the 2. That shows you just how spread out this field is right now. They are definitely battling out very quickly. They're spread out, but they're still battling, so don't count anybody out just yet. You can see they stretch from turn 1 all the way to turn 4. There's just that many of them here. Just to note here, Dustin Covington and Trevor Graffam did not start the race, so 31 drivers out of the 33 did start tonight's race. So we do have a few drivers that did not start the race here tonight, so that's unfortunate for those few drivers. However, it does happen from time. Some drivers just don't start the race. As we're going to go a little ways back here to this group going on. Dan Butler here in the 21, right there in the red, number 21, followed by Richard Reagan Jr. in the 46, who, again, we know from another league from BHR that he is very fast, and we'll be watching to see him as he's going to try to make a pass here on the 21 of Dan Butler, and it looks like he will possibly make that pass stick. We'll definitely see as he's going to slide up, and I believe he will have it at the line. He will officially take 14th place as everyone really close together right now. Let's go back to the front. 0.2 seconds separate Alex Huffman and Mikey Neal. Alex Huffman has actually started to reel in your leader there. He actually loses a little bit as we go back here a little bit. I'm not sure who this is down at the bottom. That's the 24, Brian Bizzle, as he goes way to the bottom. I believe he got into the back possibly of the 3. Let's go to Brian Bizzle. Let's go on board with him to his roll bar. I don't see any damage from that view there, but he definitely has a smashed front end of that car, so he got into the back bumper of somebody pretty hard, and I would imagine it would be the 3 as he has rear end damage as well. So let's go back here to him as he may get behind. No, he's not. But there, yeah, you can see the damage to the back of the 3 of Damian Leininger. So the 24 and the 3 did get together. Again, Brian Bizzle and Damian Leininger did make contact on the track, but both of them keep going here on lap number 6. No too major harm done. It looks like the 3 has damage on the side of his car as well, possibly from the wall. Again, there's nobody that he would have rubbed on that side as he's on the high side right now. But here comes the 50 into the mix of Sterling Smith. He's going to get by the 3 and the 63. He will officially take 9th place. And meanwhile, we're going to go back up to the front here. Not much changing here as Alex Huffman's still trying to run down his teammate Jameer Muhammad on the hunt right now as he is fighting his way through this field, trying to get up to your race leader right now. As we'll go here, and we're going to show you something just to show you how spread out these guys are here at the moment. Let's pull up our track facts here for you. A new feature we have. Again, you see the little bit of blinking. That's because they're so bunched up where they're at. But right there, you can see here 4 turns, 1.46 miles, 100 laps, 146 miles around this track, 107-degree track. Wind has kind of calmed down, but it is starting to pick back up. But you have cars all the way from the middle of the backstretch to turn 1. This is how spread out these guys are here at the moment. So a ton of racing action going on. You can't even see everyone on the track there. You can't even see the 8 as he's kind of jumbled in there. They're just that mixed in together. You just can't see all the numbers, but they are definitely fighting their way around this track. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that for you here. Is again some really good battles going on, and we'll follow those throughout the night here. So whoop, go to the wrong camera there. Sorry about that. We'll go back here and look. Here comes Jameer Muhammad, still trying to get by James Zarello in the 13. Just can't quite get by him. He's trying everything in his power to get by, but don't count him out yet. I think he'll get there eventually, as we're going to go a little ways back. We have little groups of 2 and 3 cars as we go back here just a little bit more to Brandon Young, Mike Rigney in this battle, and John Van Varelis. So again, Dan Butler in the 21, John Van Varelis in the 76, and Brandon Young in the 51. All three of these cars right here together. They've been together for quite some time now as well. And they have just keep putting battle after battle on. And in the end, it looks like it's going to be the 51 that does take it. As I said, Dan Butler was in this. He's actually in the group ahead of them. And this is Brandon Young, Mike Rigney, and John Van Varelis that are battling. But it does go to Brandon Young in the 51. 30 cars made it. Again, Dustin Covington and Trevor Graffam did not start the race here. We'll see if they maybe come in a little bit later here. But to talk about this leader here for a minute, this is someone who said he absolutely did not like this car at all in the 8 of Mikey Neal. Here it is, 13 laps in. He's leading the race with a pretty sizable lead for Texas Motor Speedway here. 0.566 over his teammates, and they are really starting to get spread out now. As there's first place, we'll keep an eye on this. Everyone is on the lead lap. We'll clock when he gets to the line. We'll see where last place is, as he is coming up to the line right there. Last place is just now getting into turn 3. That shows you how far they are behind already early in this race, and they could potentially be lap cars here in the very near future, as actually Rick Mitchell Jr. does get by Tony Rice to take that spot from him. And we're going to go back up here to a side-by-side battle between Brian Jones and Jason Covington. Two very fast drivers, and they are side-by-side. Who is going to have a 5th place at the line? I believe it's going to be Brian Jones that has it this lap. We'll see if that inside line will prevail here tonight, or if the outside line will. Both of them very strong lines, both of them very strong drivers as well. So this could really be a toss-up as to who could potentially get away with that position. But it looks like the inside line is going to be where it's at, as Jason Covington will take the 5th spot from Brian Jones here on this little battle. But we'll keep back on there, as we're going to go back through this field a little bit. We still have this battle going on right in here for 7th place between Brian Bizzle, Richard Reagan, and Sam Crow, as this is another little 3-car battle going on again for 7th position. But we want to go back here just a little bit further, even further than these guys, back here to Jim Locking, who has a 5-car battle really going on. 2 if you count the 50 and the 91 of Jim Locking and Sterling Smith, but there's 3 more back there we got to count. Damian Leininger back there, Dan Butler, and Mike Rigney. You can't count these 3 out either. They're still within striking distance at the moment. So don't count those drivers out. They still have a shot here, as we're on lap 17 of 100. Keeping in mind pit stops somewhere between roughly 30 to 32 laps. Could possibly stretch it to 33 or 34 laps. That all really just depends on if they conserve or not. Right now, it does not look like anybody is conserving at all. So definitely something that we have to keep an eye on. That is just trying to think. I believe the Xfinity race for Daytona, one of the first races we ever did, almost had, actually I think they had over 43 people. They actually had to turn people away, as they had a completely full field. So they have definitely had a lot of people here in this series. This is a very popular series to get into. And you really have to be on top of your A game to make it in here. It's not just everybody makes it. There have been a lot of people that didn't make the cut and have been removed for causing too many cautions or too many wrecks. So you really have to be, you don't have to be the best driver, but you definitely have to be a clean driver to make it in here. They do not put up with a lot of stuff. And you can see it by the racing here. Caution free on lap number 20. As just Mikey Neal currently has a huge lead, 0.816. Let's go back and look at this battle going on. Mike Rigney just getting by Dan Butler to take 15th place right now to get himself into a top 15. We'll keep watching that battle and see how it plays out. All right, let's go back here just a little bit. We want to check back here in the back of this field just a bit. Tony Rice has kind of fallen off here. He's not officially a lap down, and he's not even close at the moment. He's currently 17 seconds behind, but they're running 32-second laps, so he's still got quite a bit of time before he officially goes a lap down. We're going to go to the group in front of him. That is 4 cars that we really haven't talked about a whole lot. Rick Mitchell, Scott Masick, Butch Frazier, and Rick Mitchell Jr. Is that his father and son, Rick Mitchell and Rick Mitchell Jr. Here currently in 27th and 30th. Obviously, if they could get together, there's not a whole lot of drafting here or even working together, but they could potentially kind of work together and get any little bit of draft you could possibly get out of this track here. As there goes the 88 of Rick Mitchell Jr. He's going to get by the 555 of Butch Frazier, and he will take 29th. But Scott Masick is on the move. He's going to try to take 27th away from Rick Mitchell, and I think he will do it. But we're going to go ahead to this group in front of him, as right now that is, I believe... Let's see who that is in front of them. I believe it's the 33s in here. Oh, and I'm not sure who that is there. I think that's the 101, if I'm not mistaken, that is in this group here. We're trying to find out. There it is, the 101 of David Gainford. That number is very hard to see on the side of that car. As there it is. He's been beaten and banged on here, so it's hard to see it. But David Gainforth makes contact with another driver. Again, not laying any fault there, but either way, contact was made. He gets completely sideways, somehow saves it. What a save for the 101 of David Gainforth. As, again, what a save. As we'll check in here. Let's go a little bit further up as Josh Coley's trying to hang on right now to that spot of 24th. It goes to show you how competitive this league is. As over in Northwest, when we broadcast on Monday and Wednesday, Josh Coley is in the chase. He has wins over there, and those are some tough guys to beat as well. Here, he currently does not have a win, I do not believe, in this series, and he is running back in 24th, so that shows you right there how stiff this competition really is. As Mikey Neal still leading this race here. Alex Huffman with a .883 gap there to his teammate, the leader, James Zorello, right behind him, as James Zorello has actually pulled away from Jameer Muhammad. I really figured we'd see Jameer Muhammad further up in this field. Not so much right now. He is actually quite a bit further back than I pictured him. Again, he's in 4th, so he's not far back in the field, but he's definitely further back from this lead group than I expected him to be. As we have Brian Dorsey coming down pit road on lap 27. A early pit stop here for the 9, short pitting it here early in this race. We'll see if this plays off for him here, as he is going to make his first pit stop. Started 21st, he got as high as 19. He's back in 30th right now, so that will be his lowest when he gets to the line. As a caution comes out, let's go back and take a look and what brought out the caution. I'm not sure what brought this out here. Let's just take a look and see what brought it out. What brought out the caution, we don't know. Everyone is going in the right direction here so far, as I don't think Richard Reagan did it. He's on pit road, and no, he gets onto pit road just fine. Matthew Ellis gets on pit road. Scott Masick, there we go. We found the car here, the 00 Scott Masick. let's go back and take a look one more time and see what happened to the 00 of Scott Masick, bringing out caution number 1 here tonight. As we'll see here, he all seemed good, and he may have broke loose on them older tires, as that seems to be probably what happened. Or did he have help from the 88? We're about to find out. Oh, and looks like maybe just a little contact there between him and the 88. The 88 definitely taking a hard lick to the outside wall. But I think, I'm not sure if the 00 went up or if the 88 came down. Either way, they make contact, and that brings out caution number 1 as we go back to live. No surprise here that everybody's coming down pit road. That's exactly what we kind of expected to see. They are very close to their pit windows. They're actually on lap 30, so they are on their fuel window at the bottom end of it anyway. We'll see. Butch Frazier going to stay out on 30-lap tires. That's just not going to work. He is only going to have about 2, maybe 3 laps of fuel, as it's going to be Mikey Neal that gets on and off a pit road before anybody else, followed by Alex Huffman, Jason Covington, Jameer Muhammad, and Brian Dorsey. We will see if the 55 comes down pit road soon. But while we're under caution, we're going to step away for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are on lap 32 of 100. The caution coming out just about the time they were going to make pit stops anyway. So unfortunately for a few of our drivers, Richard Reagan Jr. in the 46, Matthew Ellis in the 6, they are currently 1 lap down. Brian Dorsey all the way back in 26, 27 now. And of course, Scott Masick is out of the race after that caution. We're bringing it out as green flag is back in the air. We go back to racing here tonight, as we'll put the top 3 back up on the top of your charts here for you to watch, as it has been a great race so far. We saw a lot of battling early on here, As right now it is grouped up once again here. Let's go to our green camera here. Actually, let's go to this one so you can get a nice shot of these guys battling, and it looks like maybe Alex Huffman may have something this time around for his teammate. We'll see, but here comes Jason Covington trying to get into the mix as well. Jason Covington is somebody you have to watch out for, as he is just very quick. James Zarella having some connection issues here tonight. They're blinking just a little bit. Surprisingly enough, we'll go talk about him for a minute. He's back in 22nd after a pit stop here, as he was only on pit road or in his pit lane for 9.6 seconds. It looks like fuel only, maybe right sides only as well. But surprisingly enough, he was there for 32 seconds, so he was also on pit road a very short time. But that is surprising that he came back as far as he did. Because nobody else in front of him took 2 tires or only fuel, so very interesting to see him that far back after being up front for so long. But right now he is still Mikey Neal. He has been the only leader of this race, as obviously Butch Frazier came down pit road before leading a lap. Let's go back here to this group, as it is Jameer Muhammad who is on the hunt once again in 4th place in that number 2 Miller Lite machine. The question is, can he get back to get up to the front? He hasn't quite been there past 4th place. Let's pull that up real fast. He started 5th. He's been as high as 4th, and that's currently where he at. Is that he has just kind of hit a brick wall here tonight and not been able to get much further than 4th place. Very surprising for him. Somebody who is usually very high in this race. Again, 4th place, still very high. It's a top 5 finish, but for someone who dominated in the Xfinity in the trucks, to see him not even leading a lap, 37 laps into a race, very surprising there. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know what happened to that, but we're still trying to figure that out. Yeah, we'll hopefully get that sorted out sooner or later. But Sam Crow here in the 70, currently sitting in 6th place. He has got a good run going here, as pretty much everyone here. We got some really good battles going on. Why not? Let's go to the front of this field here. We got a minute. Typically, I guess we would do it on a restart, but we have plenty of cars here to do it. Let's go a little crank it up here. When we get to the line next time for our leader, Mikey Neal, we will do a little crank it up here on VRN, and we'll let you hear these cars and let them do the talking for us. We are on the back stretch right now for the leaders, and you can see right there how spread out they are. They're going single file, but they're still putting on some great racing. As we again will go crank it up style here when we get to the line. Alright, we are back here as we'll go back to our main camera. There's a little crank it up here mid-race. So definitely these cars are loud and they get around this track very quickly here, as you got to listen to them there for just a minute here. We're going to go back through this field as you see Justin Starr coming to the outside of Josh Coley. Can he make the pass complete? And it's going to be Josh Coley at the line. That is a battle currently for 12th position. That is not good. Okay, we got to definitely be safe there. I know it looked like it was going to snow here earlier, so we have some funky weather going on in Texas. But it is not snowing at Texas Motor Speedway right now here for this race. And do keep in mind here, we want to throw this out there, come Tuesday night for the RACECORE Series race. Be watching that race, folks, because we may have something special going on that night as this Tuesday morning. So, of course, today is Sunday, so 2 days from now, on the 4th, we get a huge update here on iRacing. And, of course, that means we get new tracks, new features. We are actually going to have day-night transitions coming to iRacing here in 2 days, so that is going to change things up a lot here for the racing on iRacing. So we will not just have day or night, it will actually transition from day to night in races, which will cool and heat up that track. So definitely something you are going to have to be watching for here in the coming races, as we will be debuting that with these leagues to show it off. But there to the front we go, as that gap has was closing in. Now it's kind of shrunk down. Alex Huffman 0.333 seconds behind his teammate Mikey Neal, and I really thought we would see a Jameer again up higher, as he was fastest in practice, but just not seeing that speed that we saw from him in practice. So very surprising that we have not seen more from him tonight. Obviously, you've seen a good run from him here in 4th, but I'm sure he'd love to be a little bit higher. And just to give you all a heads up, we are 4 laps away from the halfway point, or 3 from the halfway, 4 from completing the halfway point. Meanwhile, we are also, about, I'd say 13 laps away from pit stops here again. So will the pit stops play out perfectly here, where we get a caution on lap 30, or will it play out differently, or will we even have a caution at all? We're going to be waiting to see all of that information as we are here on lap 48 of 100. Mikey Neal coming to the line. Let's run on board here with Alex Huffman real fast as we go to the roll bar camera here, and you can see as he runs down his teammate, or tries to run him down, he is not quite being able to do so. I also want to point out here, as we have seen this more often than not, we'll go back here to Brian Jones in the 45 machine. He has the fastest lap here with a 30.688. That was run on lap 2. We're on lap 49. We see this again time after time, where these fastest laps are run early, very early in the race. Once they lay down rubber, the cars are not as loose, and obviously loose is fast. So once that rubber gets laid down, they're not quite as loose, they're not quite as fast, and you don't see those laps being laid down like they were before. So that right there goes to show you how quickly they lay down the rubber on this track, as again, 30 cars will seriously lay down some rubber on a track very fast. As we'll go ahead and go back to our main camera, but everyone's really spread out here, as there we're on lap 51. We are officially at the halfway point here for tonight's race, and look at this battle going on. You got Justin Starr in the 99 on the outside, you got the 13 of James Zarello on the inside, and the 50 of Sterling Smith on the inside, the outside as well. And here comes the 80 of Bruce Clay. He is going to dive it to the inside of the 96 of Craig Covington, and he will take that spot. Well, I say that. Here comes the 96 of Craig Covington back to the outside once again. They're going to be side by side at the line, and it's going to be Covington that does hold on to that spot, but they are not done just yet. They are still side by side here on lap 52. If we go a little further up, just 2 spots, it looks like Justin Starr will officially take the spot from the 50 here, as those guys have been battling there pretty closely. And it looks like James Zarello, however, will take 12 from Justin Starr as they single file out here, back for 12th, 13th, 14th place on lap 53. Fixing to be 54 next time by. Let's go back here to some of these guys we hadn't talked about. Brian Dorsey, who we saw early, he pit early here, and immediately the caution coming out. That didn't hurt him as bad as going a lap down, but it didn't help him either. So he is back currently in 20th. Damian Latiger he goes around. Is he going to bring out a caution? No caution so far. Right as we went to talk about him, how he was qualified so good and now back in the field, and around he goes as he is going to try to get that car possibly up to speed. He may just go down pit road, and there he goes, going to bring it down pit road. So right as we go to talk about him, he brings it to a spin, and down pit road he will go with heavy damage to that number 3 car. And that's why we were talking about him. He started 3rd place. He's back in 26th. He never got past 3rd place, and here he is going to pull it on to pit road. And we'll see if he's going to take tires. He is, so he is going to come down and take tires and fuel. So he is not going to be out of this race. We'll see if he repairs any damage. But right now it is Mikey and Neal out front, 25 laps. Will Mikey Neal come down here on the next 5 laps, or 4 laps now? Will he come down on or around lap 30, or will it be closer to that 32 lap mark, trying to extend that fuel out? Those are stuff we have to look for here, as it looks like I thought we had. There we do. Brian Dorsey pitted early before. He's coming down pit road once again here on lap 27, so he is going to short pit it again, and hopefully a caution does not come out for him this time. That was just bad luck on the last one. And he is going to be there, and it looks like, I don't see the car. There it is. The car is being jacked up on the left side, so he is taking 4 tires of fuel. He's done. Pit stop number 2 is out of the way, and he will probably go a lap down. He does indeed go 1 lap down. He'll join Richard Reagan Jr. a lap down, and Tony Rice currently 2 laps down. Brandon Young in the 51 is also 5 laps down. In the 3 of Damian Laniger, who we just talked to, did officially pack it behind the wall. He is out of this race now, so he has decided to call it a night. And Mikey Neal has led 57 laps here in tonight's race. Again, he has led every single lap, so nobody else has been to the front of this field except for Butch Frazier, but in that 555 machine, but he did not stay out long enough to lead a lap. He came down pit road. So 1 leader here tonight, as we'll pull those up here. As you can see, we have had fast lap of 30.688 from Brian Jones. That was on lap 2. He ran 171 miles per hour on that lap. 1 caution for 4 laps, 0 lead changes here. The average lap is 30.243, and that, of course, is because of that 1 caution we have had. So, Mikey Neal, again, I quote, he said he hates this car, and even threatened to quit at one point. Although we know Mikey, he says he hates it, he won't drive it, he just can't drive it, and then he ends up putting it in victory lane later on that night. So he kind of has to motivate himself there to push this car beyond its limits, and he's doing just that here tonight. Right now, what we're waiting for, though, is we're waiting to see who's going to be the first leader to come down pit road. We'll take a look at our top 5. We have Mikey Neal, Alex Huffman, Jameer Muhammad, Brian Jones, Mike Rigney. Which one of these guys will be the first one to bring it down pit road, as it looks like we have several. Jason Covington coming down pit road now. Dan Butler coming down pit road. Scotty Zerk coming down pit road. So several drivers have decided to bring it down pit road. However, Mikey Neal not going to be one of those. He is going to stay out, and it looks like everybody all the way down to 21st spot is doing the exact same thing. Nobody coming down pit road just yet. I say that. There's Craig Covington in the 96. He's going to come down pit road and get tires and fuel here on the lap 32. And we'll see Mikey Neal trying to stretch it here. He is not going to come down. He is one of those that will try to stretch this as far as he can and get every drop of fuel out of this tank. And that's what he's doing here tonight, as he is currently sitting at the top here. Alex Huffman trying to run him down. Jamir Muhammad has a third place right now. That is the highest he has been here tonight, as again, highest third place. Not sure on his official lowest place, but he did start in 5th. But he is trying to work his way up through this field right now. Just not having the best run here, but still having a good run. Rick Mitchell Jr. coming down pit road now to complete his stop, as it looks like we have a few more drivers. Sterling Smith coming down pit road. Bruce Clay in the 80 coming down pit road. Again, so far, though, our top 12 drivers have not come down at pit road, and I would imagine that this time by Mikey Neal may come down pit road. We'll see. No, he is going to stretch it all the way to 55 or 35 at least. We'll see. We're waiting to see when Mikey Neal will come down. And there's Alex Huffman, his teammate, and Mike Rigney. And there's the rest of the field behind him. So Mikey Neal, Jamir Muhammad, and James Zarello somehow able to stretch it here. And everybody else coming down the pit road here at the front of this field. As we'll zoom out here so you can see just how everyone is doing. As you see them all on pit road. Everybody came down that time. And we'll see. It's going to be, it looks like the 46 is off pit road. The 30 is getting out of his stall. The 45, the 71. Everybody completing their stops. Brian Jones is going to beat Richard Reagan out of pit road. And here comes Mikey Neal. Does he slide to a stop? He does. He has to back up on pit road. That is not good. That's going to give Brian Bizzle the lead. Butch Frazier second. These guys have not pitted, though. We'll see Mikey Neal, 10 seconds, 11 seconds. Will he beat James Zarello around this track? James Zarello, Jamir Muhammad on pit road with him. And looks like Jason Covington is going to beat him around the track. The question is, will 5 laps versus 2 laps be the key here? Or 1 lap, sorry, as he does come back out. But Alex Huffman in a second. Mikey Neal, that little bobble on pit road may have cost him about 3 seconds on pit road, as he had to back up. As that is not what he wanted, as Jason Covington staying out. I'll show you, he's not staying out. He's already been pitted. As there we go. Now we'll get to him. Brian Bizzle is on pit road, so he is going to drop like a rock through this field. And Jason Covington will be your leader here, and he has not led the lap just yet. He has plenty of fuel, obviously, to make it to the next stop, and he comes to the line right there. He will officially lead his first lap, as Brian Bizzle did so as well. So now Mikey Neal has led 65 laps. Jason Covington has led 1, and Brian Bizzle has led 1 lap as well. We will see how this one goes. We are on lap 68 of 100. Again, we are 3 laps away from being at the 30 to go mark. Again, they should be able to make it on fuel. At least Mikey Neal will. As we saw, he made it 35 laps, so he should be good on fuel. The rest of these guys were coming down 32, 33 laps. They are going to be borderline being able to make it. So they will either have to conserve a ton, and that will help Mikey Neal, or they will not conserve, and he will get them here in the end, as he's currently third place right now with Jason Covington and Alex Huffman ahead of him. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at our top 5 drivers. After 69 laps completed, it is Jason Covington in the 10 that is your race leader here. And let's go to there. We'll also talk about him here for a little bit, as he again started 7th. He's in first right now. Second place, Alex Huffman in the 83. Started second currently right now. Mikey Neal started in first, and he is currently in third place at the moment. Fourth place is the 2 of Jamir Muhammad. Started 5th. He's in to a 4th, and he's been as high as 2nd, so he is fighting his way through this field as well. And rounding out your top 5 right now is the 45 of Brian Jones. Started 8th, he's up to 5th, and he's been as high as a 4th here in the race. So we'll go ahead and get rid of your top 5 here. And go ahead and bring up your ticker once again, as if we can get it to pull up. There we go. As it is, this race now belongs to Jason Covington, but fuel strategy, I think, is going to be the key here. I think Mikey Neal has the perfect run here. He can make it to the end of this race on fuel. The question is, can anybody else? As we know, he can make it 35 laps. He just proved it. So we'll have to wait and see. I think he's in a really good spot right now to make it to the end of this race. Anybody that's ever known Mikey here in this race knows he can conserve fuel, and he is good at it. The question is, how much fuel can he conserve here in this last run, and will it be enough to potentially win this race? And this all could get thrown out the window if we have a caution. If we have a caution, everybody's going to be right back together here. So a lot of stuff it kind of has to work out perfect for Mikey Neal. If we stay green, I think he has a winning strategy. If we see a caution, all bets are off, and it will change everything here tonight, as that really shakes things up. So this could get very, very interesting here in the closing laps here, as we have less than 30 laps to go. Again, one last time, we'll mention it here at the or little past the halfway point, as we're 3/4 done when we get to the line. We want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. We definitely appreciate everyone. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of all upcoming events. And of course, if you like the race, make sure you hit the thumbs up. And of course, if you already have subscribed and you just enjoy the racing and want to be a little bit more part of the channel, we do have the donation link, which is completely optional for anyone that just wants to help VRN and do what we do to keep bringing you broadcasts here every day of the week. You can do so, but again, completely optional. Up at the front of this race, though, Alex Huffman is in a bit of a predicament here, as look who's right behind him. That is Mikey Neal. So Mikey Neal not only having a winning a pit strategy if we stay green, I think he's setting a good spot. He's also already caught the 83 of Alex Huffman. However, right behind him is Jamir Muhammad, and I'm curious, has Jamir been kind of sandbagging it here a little bit and maybe trying to save some fuel? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if he has been. He very well could have been trying to hide what he really has and going to make a run for the lead here in the next few laps, as he's trying everything right now to get by Mikey Neal in that 8 machine, but he just can't quite get by him. But he is definitely doing everything to try, and he may use the 83 of Alex Huffman to try to get by him here in a minute. But here goes Mikey Neal. He's going to dive it to the inside of his teammate, the 83 of Alex Huffman, and will he get him at the line is the question. He is right there, but it's going to be Alex Huffman at the line. Mikey Neal not giving up, though. He is going to keep digging here and see if he is able to get by him. But so far, just no such luck able to do so. Jason Covington still leading this race. We have only had one caution for 4 laps. When they get to the line, we will have 21 laps to go. As we'll see right there as he comes to the tri-oval. 21 laps to go, 20 laps to go. Next time by, who will be this race winner? Will it be Jason Covington, Mikey Neal? Will Alex Huffman come in here and play something? As we have a car slowing, it's Brian Dorsey coming back down pit road. We knew some of these guys would have to come back down, and indeed he is going to have to. So Brian Dorsey having to come down pit road, so he will probably go a lap down. As Jason Covington coming down extremely early here. Again, he was leading this race. Now here he is sitting on a pit road, or fixing to be sitting on pit road. We'll see. And does he make it clean? He does. Oh, no, he has to pull forward. That's going to cost him a little bit of time here on pit road. And there you see Craig Covington, Justin Starr, Sterling Smith, and Charles Hoffman. Everybody's coming down pit road currently from 13th to 17th. Everybody's coming down. So these guys are going to have to make pit stops here as they're coming back out onto the track. I'm just not certain that Mikey Neal or even maybe Jamir Muhammad are going to have to come down. These guys made it to 35 laps. They have 16 laps on this stint with about 18, 19 laps to go. It is going to be very close to see if he can make it on fuel. We know the rest of these guys could not, though. So Mikey Neal back to the lead. He's now led 68 laps. Can he make it on fuel? We've had 3 different lead changes and 3 different leaders. Mikey Neal, Jason Covington, and Brian Bizzle have led laps here. The question is, who will be parking it in victory lane here tonight? We will know here in, well, roughly about 18 laps. A lot of these guys cannot make it on fuel. To answer that question, again, they came in early enough that they are not able to make it on fuel to the end of this race. However, Mikey Neal and Jamir Muhammad, those two, at least those two, were able to stretch it to lap 35. So they have found a way to conserve enough fuel out of this car to make it to the end of this race that I think they should be good to go. We will have to find out here, as again, I do not think we will see Mikey Neal come back down pit road for the rest of this race. Jamir Muhammad may be the sleeper here tonight, as he is closing in on the gap as he gets a little sideways there, but he keeps it going. It's again, he's somebody we didn't talk about early in this race, and now look at him. We didn't talk about him being up at the front, leading any laps. He still hasn't led any, but he is now 0.183 seconds behind Mikey Neal, and I believe he may have something for him here in the closing laps, as we are on lap 86 of 100. Who will come down pit road again? Who will not come down pit road? Who's going to win this race? We are going to find out here very shortly, as we have currently 16 laps to go. Mikey Neal is going to be pushing it here on the fuel, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that, as we're also watching the battle for the lead. Jamir Muhammad 0.216 seconds behind. He is going to have to force Mikey Neal to push it here, and by doing so, that may throw Mikey Neal out of his fuel strategy. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that to see. Not Tony Rice, sorry. That is Dan Butler that is coming down pit road. So he is going to go ahead and get fuel and tires here. And actually, fuel and tires for him. back to the front. 0.133 seconds separating Mikey Neal and Jamir Muhammad. Jamir Muhammad putting the pressure on Mikey Neal now to try and make him use all the fuel he can. And that is definitely not a good thing here for Mikey Neal. If he lets him go, he can save. But then again, that is going to make it harder. But the good news is, if he's pushing him, he's using more to push him as well. So this is going to be a toss-up between the 8 of Mikey Neal and the 2 of Jamir Muhammad, I think, here in the closing laps. We'll just have to wait and see as Jim Locken comes down at pit road. He will take his third pit stop here. By Scotty Zerk coming down pit road as well. And that is it as far as pit stops go for people coming down here at the moment. Again, none of our leaders have come down here. Alex Huffman, 2 pit stops. James Rollo has already had 3 pit stops here with 23 to go. So he definitely, I don't think he's going to, well, I don't know. He may be able to make it. We'll see. He was one of them that stretched it earlier. But he is 3 wide at the moment between Richard Reagan Jr. in the 46 and Butch Frazier in the 555. He is a sandwich between them two as he will thread the needle, get through James Zarello up to 4th place. And again, those are lap cars that he's dealing with right now, as we currently only have 9 cars on the lead lap. John Van Rellis being the last one in the 78 machine. And there's your leader, Mikey Neal, and Jamir Muhammad in second, and they're about to try to put him a lap down as well. And we have, I believe that's Jason Covington coming into the picture here as well. Let's go back. He is currently 1 lap down. He is the first car a lap down. He's trying to get his lap back from these leaders here, as Mikey Neal's going to try to hold him off there and not let him get that lap back. But he may let him go here and not battle with him, but he can't just let him go too quick. If he just lets him go too easy, that could potentially let the 2 by him as well. But he doesn't do that. He does a great job of defending the spot from the 2, but letting the 10 by, as he knew that 10 had much fresher tires. Again, 10 laps versus 26 laps here, as we are coming up on lap 93 for your race leader, Mikey Neal. We currently have 8 laps to go here in this race. Again, it looks like 7, but it's 8. They have to complete lap 100. So 8 laps to go here in the race. That is all that remains. We are not leaving this battle for the lead, as it is a huge battle between Mikey Neal and Jamir Muhammad. Somebody's going to be putting it in victory lane. It may not be one of these 2 drivers. We don't know if they can make it on fuel. We are guessing it is going to be very close. If they do win, I would imagine they're going to run out before they can officially do any type of burnout, or very little burnout. So we will have to talk to them if they do put it in victory lane. But it is going to be borderline, very close for these 2 drivers here, if they can pull this out. Behind them is going to be a few more drivers, pretty much everyone right around 29-30 laps. And if all of these guys here, we're talking Mikey Neal, Jamir Muhammad, Alex Huffman, James Zarello, Brian Jones, Mike Rigney, Josh Coley, Sam Crow, they all have 29 to 30 laps on their tires and fuel. Fuel being the main thing. If every one of these somehow run out of fuel and cannot conserve enough, that would go back here to Jason Covington, who just got his lap back. That would default back to him for the race winner. That's assuming every one of these gets out of fuel. And here comes Jamir Muhammad to the inside. Mikey Neal side by side. Did Jamir lead the lap? No, he did not. It is still Mikey Neal out front, and I think that was his shot to try to get by. Jamir was unable to complete the pass. He was ahead of him for a second, and that may result in the win here for Mikey Neal. As worn out as these tires are, 30 laps on him, you don't have much. You may have one shot to do it. No, he's going to try again. Jamir Muhammad to the inside. Can he get by him? He does. It is a new race leader. Jamir Muhammad leads his first lap at the line. Can Mikey Neal get back by him here with 4 laps to go? Oh, we will see. Can he get by? We said we weren't going to leave the lead. This is why right here. You never know what is going to happen. Mikey Neal could get by. Will Jamir Muhammad run out of fuel? Mikey Neal sideways coming out of turn 4. He's pushing it for everything he has. Pushed it a little too far. That is going to let Jamir Muhammad get by and get a little bit of a lead here. 0.833 seconds. Mikey Neal needs to regroup and catch him if he can. The question is, can he or will either one of these even make it on fuel? 3 laps go. This is most people's fuel window right here. These guys are pushing it well beyond the limits here, conserving as much fuel as they can, and they are moving forward here at the moment. As we'll see, nobody in the top 7 coming down. They have 34 laps on their tires and well into the fuel window here. 33 laps. Jamir Muhammad currently under his own power. He's doing a fantastic job of hanging on to it here. As again, looks like if we end it right now, we would be talking to Jamir Muhammad, Mikey Neal, and Alex Huffman, 3 of the most dominating fast drivers in RACECORE to date. So 3 very well-deserving drivers. As there it is, final lap, white flag is in the air, presented by Northwest Racing Series here at Texas Motor Speedway. Will Jamir Muhammad make it on fuel, and will Mikey Neal make it on fuel as well? We're about to find out, as it looks like for the most part they are under their own power. 147 miles per hour, 151, so he still has enough power to make it to victory lane. Is putting it in victory lane, I believe, for the first time here in the series. I'm not sure. It's going to be the 2 of Jamir Muhammad. He's going to be your race winner here tonight. Again, I'll have to go back and look and see if that is his first win. I don't believe it is here in this series. Definitely not the first win here for RACECORE, as he will end a 4 or 5, maybe even 6 race drought here where he has not been in a victory lane. But the 2, Jamir Muhammad, is your race winner here tonight, and he only led 5 laps. He led the last 5 laps. I really think he might have been holding back here a little bit, as obviously he was fastest in practice, and then puts it in victory lane here tonight. We'll see what he has to say about that, what Mikey has to say, and Alex Huffman coming up here in the post-race show. But before we do that, let's go through your unofficial race results. Coming away with the win here tonight is going to be the 2 of Jamir Muhammad. Second place will be the 8 of Mikey Neal. Third place will be the 83 of Alex Huffman. Fourth place, the 13 of James Zorello. And your 5th place driver here tonight will be the 30 of Mike Rigney. 6th place will be Brian Jones. 7th place will be, there we go, 7th place will be Jason Covington. 8th place, Josh Coley. 9th place, Sam Crow. And 10th place will be John Van Ellis. 11th place will be Brian Bizzle. 12th place, Jim Locking. 13th, Richard Reagan. 4th place, Brian Dorsey. And 15th will go to Butch Frazier. 16th will be Bruce Clay. 17th, Craig Covington. 18th, Justin Starr. 19th, Charles Hoffman. 20th will go to Dan Butler. 21st will go to Sterling Smith. 22nd, David Gainford. 23rd, Justin Spear. 24th, Tony Rice. 25th, Scotty Zerk. 26th will go to Rick Mitchell. 27th, Rick Mitchell Jr. 28th, Brandon Young. 29th, Damian Leininger. And 30th will go to Matthew Ellis. 31st will go to Scott Masick, and then not starting the race here tonight in 32nd will be Dustin Covington, and also not starting the 47, or in 33rd, the 47 of Trevor Graffam. That will do it here for your unofficial race results. We will be right back here in just a few moments with your top 3 drivers here in the post-race show. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with your post-race show. Finishing in 3rd place here tonight. That, of course, is the 83 of Alex Huffman. Started 2nd. Unfortunately, didn't quite get back to where you started. But what a run here. I really think fuel strategy and when you pitted was a big play. Our player in tonight's race. So give us your thoughts on what the strategy was to try to get to the front and get the win. Obviously, just a few spots shy, but still a great run for you.
Yeah, for once I had a great run. I had a big string on back lip, but I figured to myself, I was like, if I put 1 lap earlier than Mikey here, which I saw Jameer, he was right behind me there before they all pitted as well. I was like, if I put 1 lap sooner, that overlap of the difference of tires, I could get ahead of them. And then once got some laps on and the fuel mileage corrected itself, I looked down and I was like, oh, I'm about a lap short. So I had to start checking up a lot in the corner entry, kicking in the clutch. And then Mikey and Jameer came along. I was like, I'm not going to race them because if I do, I'll just run out of fuel. And then going into 3 on the last lap, I did run out of fuel as I saw James Lorello coming up behind me, and I was trying to keep a distance between him, and luckily I did because coming across the line, he was 3/10 behind me, and I was out of fuel, so I was in trouble.
Well, definitely, it was a fuel strategy here. Only 1 caution, so this league RACECORE is notorious for having 0 to very few cautions. So coming into tonight's race, knowing that it was going to be somewhere in the 30 to 32, maybe 33 or 44 lap range for pit stops. Did you plan for that long green flag run, or did you plan on maybe having a caution or 2? And if it did alter, did you have to change your plan here at all?
I was always playing for a green flag race, no cautions, because, well, like you said, these guys in here, we rarely ever see cautions, and I was hoping for no cautions because I felt like that would have played in a lot more, because we probably would have been able to go a little bit further on fuel before that final stop, and then it would have been an all-out just possibly tire strategy, not so much a fuel strategy. And I mean, that 1 caution we had, it shook it up a little bit, and it ended up still putting on a show. Jameer and Mikey. Of course, with their battle up front, that was intense.
Well, it definitely was an intense battle, and we're going to be talking to them too here in just a minute. But before we let you go, we know you got some probably some sponsors and shout-outs, so who would those be here for that third place finish tonight?
Well, I gotta thank my friends and family that support me for this. Allen's Body Shop, of course, as that's on the car, place I work, and Dan Butler Designs, Gold Cube for sponsoring our Super Late Model Series coming up. Global Building Contractors for Tuesday nights. Iracing Drivers World, of course, tonight. You guys at VRN, you always put on a great broadcast for us and make us look good.
We definitely try. You do a great job of making it easy for us here. And speaking of someone who makes it easy to talk about, that is to Mikey Neal, finishing in second. Apparently, you're the Mikey Neal now. But you started first and pretty much spent the whole race up there. 81 laps of it you led. In the end, it came down to fuel and tires. A little bit more on fuel. And we heard you talking a little bit. So, again, the most of this race, not much going on for you. You were out front, but those last probably 5-6 laps, just give us a rundown of what was going on there. How much fuel did you have left, and how close was this battle, as it looked really close on the track, too?
Yeah, I mean, we there at the beginning, and we pitted around lap 30-ish, which was going to kind of split it up. But then I made it all the way to lap 65. And I was like, well, rather than Bristol last week trying to make 10 laps, I mean, I only had to make it half a lap more. And I thought it was going to be a great idea. So I went in and I saw Jameer come behind me. And I knew I had to stay in front of him. Luckily, I overshot my pit box because I'm really good at it. And he got right back up to me, and, from there, I was just trying to block him. I mean, that's all I could really do, but he had my draft. So, just trying to block him was hard enough. And then the round 3 to go, trying to keep him behind me, he just got around me. And then, obviously, the Mikey Neal goes right to the apron and gets loose, lost a little bit of time, so I didn't get to make it. Other than that, the race went a little bit better than I thought it was. I still do not like the car here that much. It was definitely really, really tough to race. Super tight, but other than that, I was just able to kind of cooperate with it throughout the race, and it ended up not being too bad. I led 81 laps, and better than I thought it.
Definitely the what we like to refer to as the typical Mikey comment. He hates the car, but still manages to finish well here, or any track for that matter. So you did a great job. You led 81 laps. Just came up a few short, of course, but we know you got some shout-outs and sponsors there, so who would those be for that second place finish?
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank the sponsors, Iracing Drivers World. Right here, we have a lot of fun getting to race it every single weekend. So thanks for them. I also got to thank Global Building Contractors, Dan Butler Designs, and Gold Cube. They are the other sponsors that help this series. Also got to thank KM and PRG. I know Hovey got third tonight, and Richard was a little bit further back from a penalty, but we had a pretty decent day. Got to thank you guys for broadcasting every race. We love having you guys. And I also got to thank my mom and dad. I know they're worth watching. Thank you guys so much. I got to thank Dan and Justin. They do a great job hosting the league. Also got to thank everybody for watching. We love having you guys every weekend for this and our day series. And then also got to give congratulations there to Jameer, man. He did a heck of a job saving fuel, to be honest. I didn't really think. But, I ran out going into 3, and he ran out coming out of 4. So he did a great job, and did too. He saved a whole lot more than us and ended up pulling out third. So congrats to them guys, and I hope you guys have a good weekend.
All right, again, congrats on second place, and that will bring us to our race winner here tonight. Again, we don't have Jeff here tonight, but he may be out there in chat somewhere watching. So, Jeff, if you're out there watching, let us know in chat, and definitely, I'm sure he's here in spirit. But I know he had a prior arrangement he had to be at. What a race is all we can say here. You didn't lead by far the most laps. You only led the last 5 laps. You were fastest in practice, and I kind of made the comment here that you may have been a bit of a sleeper there. Were you holding back a little bit, trying to save for the last little bit of this race? Did you just have something there that you were just holding off for the right time to use it?
Not a lot, not at all. I wish I could say that, but I pretty much had the fifth fastest car today. Mikey, Alex, James, and I think Jason, they all had me beat. I was kind of just riding there in fifth, and then with the caution coming out, as Mikey said, we put it on lap 30. There was like 70 to go, which obviously like put us about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 laps short. And I guess the fuel mileage race played into my hands there, because those guys couldn't run as fast as they wanted to, and they kind of came back to me, and yeah, it was just a save race. The last 70 laps, it was white knuckle racing. It was a ton of fun, and Mikey always brings out the best in me. Yeah, you gotta be all around driver to beat him.
Definitely all around is a good way to describe the top 3, especially, and even further down here, even though we didn't get to talk to them. But a little bit before we get to your sponsors here, the last couple of races that we've had here, or not here, but in this series, we've talked about you a little bit, but we hate to bring up the bad when you're sitting in victory lane, but not necessarily the typical Jameer finishes that we're used to seeing. The last maybe 2, 3, 4 races. So does it feel good to finally kind of break that streak of being outside the top 5 or outside the top 3 and be sitting in victory lane again?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while since I've won, and I think it's been a while since I've gotten on the podium to talk to you guys. I really haven't changed too much, I don't think. These guys are getting so much better. Right now, Mikey, Alex, and James, they've got me beat right now on speed in this car and the B-Class car on Tuesday nights. And I've just got to come out and, grind it out and hope for the best right now. Because right now, the point situation between me and Mikey in the Tuesday night series, we're dead. We're tied right now with like 5 or 6 races to go, I think. And this series, it's still really close. So right now, Mikey's got the edge right now because he's way faster than me. So I'm gonna have to try and get better right now.
Well, I definitely think you two are going to put on a heck of a show in that series as well as this one you do every single week. That being said, here, before we let you go, of course, we know you had some sponsors and shout-outs, so who would those be for that little win and getting that streak broke?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Charles. I want to thank Iracing Drivers World for sponsoring the series, Global Building Contractors, Gold Q, Dan Butler Designs for all they do. I'd like to thank my wife, my son Theo, Sarah. Thanks for letting me race tonight, and my mom and dad.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the win here tonight. And, of course, that is just about going to do it here for tonight's race. Before we officially sign off here for tonight, though, we need to thank all of the sponsors, of course, coming on board as the latest sponsor here for the race. That is mentioned Gold Cube for coming on board here in the last week and a half or so. So big shout out to them, as well as, of course, Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, Leo's Coney Island, and, of course, Dan Butler Designs. And, of course, here on the broadcast side of things, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the following partners: Northwest Racing Series, Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, Ohio IndyCar League, SimSpeedShop.com, and, of course, iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Make sure you check out all of these partners at their social media sites, and thank them for everything they do to keep us and this league going. On behalf of RACECORE Online Racing League and Virtual Racing Network, we will see you tomorrow night at the next race. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you at the next race.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be used in any form without the authorized written consent of Virtual Racing Network. VRN would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.